What is going on, BenchWarmers? Welcome back to another episode where I think today's episode is going to be called HAY LIGA, mucha. HAY LIGA.
Mucha.
The league is mucha. The league is definitely open now.
I wish there was a translation to mucha.
Guys.
You think?
Yeah, literally, guys.
I don't know. I think
I mean, we shorten it because it's supposed to be muchachos.
Everyone.
HAY LIGA, mucha. Like, there's a league, guys. That's literally the translation, but. A lot to get into. Premier League action to go over. Some Champions League action to kind of dabble into as well. Some midweek games happening this week that guy reminded me of as well. And as usual, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Leave us a review. Helps us go a long way. Thank you for all the support. And before we get into it, as always, how are you guys? How have you guys been?
Not bad.
Yeah. Oh, and for anybody wondering, we have a temporary mascot in a Charmander who's protecting our logo there. I don't know how you guys feel about our mascot right now.
Speaking of logo,
Squirtle all day.
got to turn it on.
Oh, there, yeah.
I was like, oh, there's like something's missing. I knew that something was missing. You had mentioned it already.
I forgot about it too. But, so you're good. How are you guys, man?
Good. Can't complain.
You had a good weekend.
They did have a good weekend.
too
We
bad.
did too. It was a long weekend, which is a nice one.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have to go back to work tomorrow.
Don't remind me, man. Don't remind me.
Yeah. I woke up this morning. I was like, yes, today's off, and I'm like, shit, but it's fucking 7:00, 7:30, I think.
Dude, the day flew by today. Actually,
Bro, yeah.
Like I didn't realize. Like I did. So Ace takes a lot of shits, my dog, and during the winter I tend to get lazy and I just let it pile up back there. I think I let it pile up for a little bit too long. I was back there for like maybe over an hour just picking up shit. My arm was literally sore from just constantly scraping with the little rake, and I didn't finish.
Was it frozen?
It was a lot of it was frozen, yeah, so it was easy to pick up, but it was like deep in there, and like my arm was genuinely hurting.
Got stuck.
Yeah, so if you have a dog and don't let the poop accumulate in the backyard because yeah, it's not fun, man. It's not fun. I still gotta do it some more, so I'll probably do it tomorrow.
It's all right.
That was my day off, picking up shit.
Nice.
Literally. But now we're here. Now we can talk about some footy, and I'm excited about that because the top 4 race is even more intense. The league itself is open now because as plenty of you saw the results this weekend, which we'll definitely talk about soon. Yeah, so if you guys are ready to get into it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
All right, so we're going to kick it off with the top 4 race. The first game I have here on the docket is West Ham drawing at home 1-1 to Newcastle. I think we mentioned it before. We're starting to see the drop-off in West Ham. The form is starting to go a little bit. But I kind of want to give Newcastle some credit here, man. We said without Trippier, they were going to be very questionable, which they seem to kind of hold their own this game, and they have yet to fully introduce I would consider their marquee signing, the one that everybody has an eye out for right now is Bruno Guimaraes. So
Yeah, he's not getting any game time. He came in again. I mean, I know he just started, but they signed all these other players that just went in right away, and he just comes on the last 5 minutes the past 2 or 3 times already. So I know it's a little weird.
It could be a little language barrier.
Granted, also Newcastle's midfield actually looks pretty solid.
Exactly, yeah, and Willock scored, which thank you Willock for helping us.
So I mean it makes sense, but for 40 mil, like 40 right something 40 something.
Yeah. You'd expect them to kind of get on the pitch
right,
more, but,
yeah. But their midfield has been really solid, so that is credit to them.
A lot more game time left. Nick, you're seeing that relegation battle for them. I think they're 4 points clear at this point.
Yeah,
they're tied with Everton though, I believe, on points. How do you feel that battle for I guess to stay out of relegation kind of lasting throughout the season?
I think for Newcastle, those last couple games kind of like took them out of it. I know they're only 4 points clear, but I just think it'll be just like it'll just be like a safety gap where they kind of just stay safe, pick up points. And judging off right now, like those 2 defensive pickups they picked up, Target and Dan Burn, even though Trippier got injured, like those have already like immediately made an impact.
You could tell.
Yeah, those I just looked at right now. Newcastle in their last 4 games have only conceded 3, which I guess considering for Newcastle, it's kind of like pretty good. But Against Leeds, they kept a clean sheet. Against Everton, they kept it to 1 goal. Against Villa, they kept a clean sheet. And then against West Ham, they kept it to 1 goal. So those 2 signings already, they may not be like world class signings or like elite level signings, but they're just signings who can make you that just bit better, and especially the defensive end, which we all know is important. So
Yeah.
They're definitely missing Callum Wilson though, because even though they did sign Wood, even though they did sign Chris Wood, he hasn't really done anything.
Yeah.
So they're definitely missing Callum Wilson back in that side.
I mean, then again, these a lot of these signings, not all of them, but a lot of them scream out to me like, just kind of help us get to that, be, I guess, a mid-table team in the Premier League, and they will make that next jump to send the next better defender or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean,
also though, I think these signings like Dan Burn, Matt Target, I think they won't last for like the next phase, but I just feel like they'll probably just be remembered by Newcastle fans to be like, yeah, these guys actually helped us to not get relegated, and thank you for that. But
and look, it's putting them in the shopping window as well. So it's a win-win for everybody in the party. Newcastle, I'm still going to get relegated. So don't get me wrong here, but I mean, credit to them when it's due. They're looking pretty good, a lot better. But yeah, I think that was the first game to kick off the weekend. Luckily, shortly after that, Marco and I got to witness our beloved Gunners host Brentford and get sweet revenge 2-1. Just to kick about with the boys, right? Tony, motherfucker. In case you don't know, he tweeted that after they beat us. So, and like I said, tweeted that back at him. So, boom shakalaka. Marco,
is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a regular tweet from Lacazette.
No, because Tony tweeted the day they beat us. Good kick about with the boys today, and then like I said, little his shithousery can never go wrong with that. I can get on my soapbox right now, but before I do that, I want to kind of get your thoughts on the game and what bothered you, what didn't bother you, what made you excited to watch this team.
Honestly, the biggest thing, and it was because we had to, there was no other way, was I really wanted to start seeing more of Odegaard and Smith Rowe play together. That's something that I personally would want to see more. Of course, they're similar players. One can do more of a 8 role versus a 10 role. The other one can do more of a left wing role. And because Martinelli's red card, we had to see Smith Rowe play on the left, which, I love it. I really, really love it. And this gives me more hope that they'll start pushing, and that's what I want to see. Start pushing Smith Rowe on that left wing, and or start training Martinelli to do that 9 role. And if they do, oh my god, what a team! What a attack we will have.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I really enjoyed the majority of the game. I think it was in my eyes at least, a solid game. You and I just discussed the whole captaincy thing, which was a little funny, and the fact that but also a little weird, the fact that Shaka didn't want to take it, even though he's done it multiple times in the past.
Mm.
So what was different from this time versus every other time he's done it?
Yeah.
So that's the only question that I have of for this game. But overall, I mean, it was a solid game. Did I expect a little bit more? Maybe an extra goal on our end. I know we had chances. But it's a feel good 3 points. That's what I'm gonna leave it at.
Okay, feel good 3 points. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I felt like we honestly dominated this game. We didn't give them many opportunities. Yeah, they got to go at the dying minutes, but other than that, what I really wanted to get on my soapbox about was there's a conspiracy theory right now, and I'm buying into it right now. I'm gonna have a tinfoil on my head in about a month's time because
Start building it for you right now.
these officials are against us. I'm full blown convinced.
The penalty. Sorry.
I'm full blown convinced. There was not only one, but at least 2 penalties should have been called in that game. At least 2. And you know what? I'm not mad about it because we won. They got the 3 points, but it's frustrating when you see the same instances happening in other games. Example, Man City versus Spurs. Handball. Example, Wolves versus Leicester. When the same instance with Martinelli. No, didn't happen to them, right? It's just these inconsistencies that are just driving me crazy. And the officials for this game were just horrid. What's his name? Something Moss.
John Moss.
Dude, there has to be just like we're seeing like a new wave of young players, there's got to be a new wave of young referees, and not just referees from the Premier League, from England, from abroad. Because I am for it being quote unquote the best league in the world. I'm just over the inconsistency, and it's gonna continue to cost teams points at this late in the game.
It should be just one big pool of refs, and then they just say, okay, you know what, you're gonna go to the MLS, you're gonna go to the Bundesliga, you're gonna go here, and then just switch it around.
I'd actually be up.
Why not?
I'd be all for that, man. But yeah, that's my 1 minute on the soapbox because I'm buying into this conspiracy theory, and yes, the officials are out to get us. But one thing I really want to talk about Arsenal in this game. Yes, Emil Smith Rowe looked phenomenal on the left hand side, and I think that has a positive issue to deal with, which is you have two players that are playing at top of their form on the left hand side. Very different in the way they play. Where Martinelli is a lot more, you can see his work rate difference, 100%. Right, the way he tracks back, the way he presses. Emil Smith Rowe, you could tell he likes to kind of drift inside more, which is kind of the way he got the goal. He ran in, drifted inside between two players, and slotted it far right. I have heard rumors of Martinelli training as a number 9. A lot of reports have been coming out saying that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, and I think I've said this in the past. I've always thought that he came in as a 9, and then they threw him on the wing, that's why he said he enjoys playing more on the wing. That was later when he already had purchased him. Yeah. If I'm mistaken, he was a 9.
I believe he is a striker naturally. So,
but they made him a left wing,
correct,
which he started to fall in love with. Yeah. But he is technically trained to be a 9.
So yeah, from some reports that I've been reading, apparently they've been testing him out as a number 9 in the training camp. So maybe we'll see that come to fruition, which I'd be very excited for. But to me, I think the two main takeaways from this game were Odegaard and Partey. First Odegaard, because I texted you during the game. I'm like, this kid is getting better and better each game that goes by.
You just have to give him time.
It's crazy like that. We got him. Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of surprised that he's only win 30 mil from Madrid because he's controlling the game. He's how old is he again? 22?
24.
And he's arguably one of the biggest leaders on the team. The way he demands the ball, the way he controls, he drops in very deep to start creating from the back, and he has that Ozil-esque kind of like touch, the pass, but he also brings more energy, more work rate, more pressing that Ozil didn't do. I'm not saying he's as good as Ozil. No, he still has ways to go, of course, to get there. But we're seeing signs of that, and that's awesome to see. I'm very excited to continue watching him develop because I think he may be the next captain after hearing Arteta's comments. Speaking of which, the comments about the captaincy were that Xhaka understands that Kieran Tierney is the next in line, which is why he didn't want to take it because Tierney was on the pitch. So that was the whole little dance. I mean, and I don't understand.
It gets confusing.
What pisses me off about Arsenal fans, and Arsenal fans are the worst. I blame FTV for this, but they were trolling. They were ripping apart Xhaka for not taking the captaincy, but yet at the same time they rip on him for everything else he does. So like, do you want him as a captain or not? You booed him when he was a captain, and now you're mad at him because he doesn't want to take it. Make up your fucking mind, man. Just let the guy be. He's doing good for us. Xhaka, I don't know if you noticed. Well, I don't know if you didn't watch this game. I don't know if you noticed, but he wasn't playing that double pivot role with Partey as much. He was a lot more pushed up on the field. Kind of playing almost as another winger. And that's one thing I noticed a lot in this game was that Partey was the main guy in the back, kind of controlling everything, kind of distributing everything from the back with the help of Odegaard. And we were a lot more front-footed. Everybody was pressed up. We made we shrunk the field for Brentford. We didn't give them any opportunities to actually get from behind us. And the way that Xhaka played this game, it was to me a very average performance for him. But once we get an upgrade to him, it's gonna look just so much better because what started off as a double pivot, now we're seeing as Partey as the main guy, Xhaka pushing up more. We're getting more players in the box, which is something that we're seeing a lot more of now. So I'm excited to see Partey kind of like own his role now. Odegaard own his role, and I want to see this upgrade that's going to come in for Xhaka and Martinelli up as number 9. So there's a lot of things that I like from this game. A lot of positive things defensively. Again, we looked great. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep the clean sheet, which is I guess is a good thing to be upset about because a few years ago I wouldn't be even saying this. I guess, but yeah, man. Pepe came in.
He played a couple minutes.
Arteta has some positive words to say about him. He looks brand new, and I will say I saw him have a different kind of energy than I've seen in the past when he gets subbed in. So that was a good thing to see. But yeah, 15 more cup finals to go. Top 4 race is I would say still in our hands at the moment, but does not mean it's gonna be an easy ride. So
It's one game at a time, and
come on, you Gunners.
all we have to do is win them all because we are two games at hand. for the
Yeah,
City,
yeah,
so
yeah. And
winning
it's
them all will
against
put us.
it's against
But
Spurs, it's
yeah,
against
I know.
Chelsea. So
But
it's
you know
like,
what? It's a game at a time. We won this one. Let's win the next one.
yeah. So
And that's a mentality that every fan and player on the pitches should definitely have and carry with.
yeah, man. So other than that, pretty happy. Emil Smith Rowe, the first Arsenal player to I believe have 10 goals across competition since Cesc Fabregas, his age.
Crazy.
So he's making he's making a name for himself. You know, we have Saka, we have Martinelli, we have Emil Smith Rowe, all these young crop of players. Hopefully, they continue to form together, develop together, and maybe next year we'll start making some more noise than we are right now. But that's Arsenal. Anything you guys have on that? Awesome. Liverpool started off kind of sketchy in the beginning, but eased their way through a comfortable 3-1 victory. Was it the front three of Salah, Mane, and Diaz, or
Yeah.
damn? I'll go on the score sheet. Nick, talk to me to the game.
The lineup was kind of weird. I didn't expect him to go for Ox. I've always said Ox is more of a rhythm player. You can't just come into one game after not starting 4 to 5 games, and it kind of showed. He was just pissing me off.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, he was just every time he touched the ball, he just lob it up and hoof it up. Every time he tried to touch a ball, he couldn't touch it down correctly. It just didn't work out. Um, yeah, I don't think Norwich created that many clear cut chances. I think what I will give them credit is they got into like a pretty decent attacking positions, in front of the front two center backs. Um, but yeah, I was just like I wasn't really that worried just because, like I just said, there was many clear cut chances. I didn't expect for them to score. I don't know why Matip tried to go block the ball. That was clearly going to Allison's near post. But on Matip, I think I'd like to start seeing Ibu Konate
More.
really start starting more Van Dijk, which is I think I've seen like Klopp started Konate United away. I didn't expect that at all. Konate literally just joined this summer. Matip is like his go-to guy, and he started him in the United away. He also started him Inter away. So I think League Cup final this Sunday, I really like to see Konate start just because I think he complements Van Dijk a little bit more. I think Matip has formed a good partnership with Van Dijk these past couple of years, but it's kind of funny because Matip has been like very injury prone his last couple of years, but this season he hasn't. I don't think he's gotten an injury at all. But it's almost like he took away his injury proneness, but some of his ability went away. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
you traded well. But yeah, on the Konate thing, I think Konate is like overall. Yeah, I just think he suits Van Dijk's game because Van Dijk is more just like a sit back, kind of just let the game come to him, and then you have Konate really being the aggressor, which he is because he's overall like he's a dual monster. But yeah, I mean the game was kind of just what I kind of expected. I was so excited when Luis Diaz scored, man. It was just yeah, it was just a nice game. That's it. I just want to keep seeing him play. Every time I see Liverpool content on Twitter, I just want to keep seeing him. Yeah, I don't know why, but
No, it's that that's why your club, so at least everyone will take advantage and bring some new blood into the team because it brings that new energy. And as you're feeling as a fan, is the same way that I'm feeling right now about some of our players. So no, man, Luis Diaz is an exciting player. So a lot more to come from him because he's only just emerging into the team now. How high do you think his ceiling can be?
I think the same as Mane's. I think he has the same kind of qualities as Mane when they first signed him from Southampton. Just like I said, aggressive. Likes to drive at players. I think the only difference between him and Mane is just I think Mane can find better positions than Luis Diaz, but I think Luis Diaz is more. Actually, no, I was gonna say he's more of like a out and out winger, but they're kind of like similar in that because Mane, when he first joined Liverpool, he played on the right and he was just an out and out touchline winger. Now he's an inside forward basically, but yeah, I think Luis Diaz's potential is world class at least just because Liverpool's scouting department hasn't missed much. I guess the only miss you can probably say is Oxlade-Chamberlain, which is I wouldn't consider. I guess you can say a miss just because I don't. I have no idea. Just because he he got his leg broken against Roma away, so you can't really account for injuries because he was he an injury prone player at
Yeah.
Arsenal?
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
So then I don't know if you can account for a leg broken, but I guess you can say Keita hasn't been up to par. I guess what the scouting department thought, but yeah, Liverpool's scouting department don't really miss, so I kind of expect them to be as the same peak as Piquante.
All right. So Liverpool are keeping the pressure on the title holders, which are Man City right now, which we'll talk about very shortly. But quickly, want to talk about Chelsea winning away. Oh, winning at home winning away. Sorry, at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace. 1-0. Barely winning away, and also Lukaku barely having any touches on the ball. I think a max of 7 touches,
7 or 8,
with the
something like
kickoff
that.
being 1. So in reality, he only had 6 touches from actual open play. My only question to you guys is, and Marco, I'll kick it off with you, and then we'll bring it down this way. Is let me just make sure I ask it right. So let me look at my question before I just mess up my words. Okay, is Lukaku just not good enough, or is Tuchel too stubborn to change the system to accommodate Lukaku? Which one of the two?
Lukaku's not good enough.
That's plain and simple.
Plain and simple. I don't see why he would have to change the system to accommodate. I think right now Chelsea has been doing okay, decent enough, and has won without Lukaku. Lukaku coming in was supposed to help him, but why change the whole system just to accommodate one player?
Okay.
If that player's not going to really try their best, in my eyes at least.
So follow-up question to that. Do Chelsea have the players to change the system that would accommodate Lukaku? If you want to think about that, we'll just
Yeah.
All right. So original question to you: is Lukaku not good enough, or is Tuchel too stubborn?
I think Tuchel's too stubborn. I mean, Nico said it in the past plenty of times as well. 3-back can only get you so far. And, Lukaku still, I mean, we know what he can do. We know what he has done. I think Tuchel's just being a little stubborn. I mean, if you're going to sign someone like him for his price tag, you kind of want to make sure he's involved as much as possible. So if you got to change the system, go ahead and change the system. He's sticking too much to his 3-back system because it did work in the beginning. But, I mean, it's dwindling.
Okay. All right. Nick?
Yeah, I kind of agree on.
But I do agree on both, though.
I kind of agree more on Gat's part. I just feel like Lukaku isn't. It's kind of funny because I feel like with players who don't do pretty well at the beginning, we always say, the system, the system isn't being accommodated towards their strengths. But I just feel like in here, I just feel like I think Antonio Conte answer really just he got the most. He just squeezed the most out of Lukaku. With you saying 3 at the back, you kind of noticed like Chelsea have been playing 4 at the back recently. Hakeem Ziyech, he's really been kicking up lately. Getting into some nice positions. But on Lukaku, I just think just the players around him don't suit him as well to a T as Inter. Like Inter, you had Lautaro Martinez kind of being a second striker, really pulling in players to get Lukaku run those outlets. Just because I think Lukaku's like he's like when you think of luxury players, you don't think of like just forceful, just brute players. You kind of think of players like Mesut Ozil, those kind of right, exactly. But I think Lukaku's one of those luxury players where he's kind of one of a kind. I guess you can kind of compare him to Haaland, in terms of just overall physicality and just really get onto. I think Lukaku's a little bit better at running the outlets, the channels. Sorry, but yeah, I just think I don't think Tuchel is really getting the best out of his attackers, which I've always kind of said, but especially in Lukaku, just because I've always rated him. I think, like Gat said, 100 mil, you have to try to find solutions. And I guess Tuchel found a solution for Hakim Ziyech. I don't know if it was to try to get the best out of Hakim Ziyech or try to get the best out of the whole squad. But yeah, I just think Tuchel needs to make some changes. I don't know if the personnel. I don't think it works either, but it's interesting.
Yeah. The reason I actually asked Josh Howard this, and if you listen to Josh Howard, shout out to you because obviously he's a Chelsea fan and I want to get his opinions, which he said he's open to coming on the podcast, by the way.
Hey.
So that's another Chelsea fan that we gotta remember to add on here. But yeah, he actually said that he thinks Tuchel's too stubborn. He just won't build around Lukaku, and he's upset about it. But I mean, like I told you guys, he hustled me. I had him as a Golden Boot winner, and far from that. But yeah, 1-0.
Credit to Vieira though. He's still doing pretty good things at Palace. I mean, they held their own.
Yeah.
They held their own for the entire game, pretty much.
I wonder how have they done since he's arrived. He's arrived at the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah,
It's been up and down, but it's something that you would expect from
Crystal
a team
Palace?
like Palace just because of where they've always known to be.
Can we just quickly touch on Zaha? And is he the kind of player that? And my brother Edgar kind of says in the past, and he's a player that needs to be a big fish in a small pond. Crystal Palace, or instead of being a small fish in a big pond, Manchester United. Do you guys agree with that kind of comment?
I would. Yeah,
I'd agree. Yeah,
I would. He wouldn't survive at any other at a bigger club at a big club, top 6 club.
Yeah.
He wouldn't. I don't think he would survive.
weren't Arsenal linked to Zaha before they bought Pepe?
Yes, actually, yeah, around the same time, actually, we were
Yeah,
linked.
I think it was like 27 at the time. Yeah, I just think Palace maybe like another step up. I think the club's way bigger than Palace. Um,
Maybe a Villa.
yeah,
Maybe a
Villa,
Villa.
but Palace are just they're not. Thing with Palace, they're never gonna challenge for anything. I don't think maybe like in a couple years times, but like 2 years, 3 years, depending if Vieira does get it right, I can see him maybe trying to challenge for that 8th, 9th spot. But right
I can
now,
see
I
that.
don't see Palace challenging at all. Villa, West Ham, those teams can challenge, but I don't think he's ready. I don't think he can get up to another level where top 6 like Spurs, Arsenal, United. Yeah,
All right.
but
So we'll see how Vieira kind of continues his career at Crystal Palace. Chelsea have been, although they have been getting the results, they just came back. They just came back from the what's it called, the Club World Cups, but they have been questionable form lately. So I've been seeing some like third place question marks here and there. We'll see. Do you guys think it'll get that far, or are they kind of guaranteed their place right now? You still think that?
no, I think they're guaranteed third place. They just have, I think, in my opinion, more quality players than other teams. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Their time at the away from the Prem at the Club World Cup, they just have to ease back into the Prem because technically it's been a while.
Yeah, they have to hit a big bump for them to be able to lose those points for any of the bottom the next 3, which is Man United, West Ham, and us Arsenal to catch up.
And Spurs.
So yeah,
And Wolves.
Wolves, Spurs. Well, Spurs are a little further away, but still, it would be a big bump for them to trip over for them to lose those points.
All right. So next, now we gotta talk about the game that really upset me. Probably made you very happy that we live streamed this past weekend. Man City hosting Spurs at home. Not the result that I was expecting nor hoping for. But did anybody here say a Spurs win?
I didn't.
I feel like somebody should have said it because I mean it's their fucking
I
weakness.
wasn't shocked when Spurs won.
But
You weren't shocked, or you were
No.
shocked?
I mean, apparently Spurs tend to get the better
Yeah.
of Man City. We just don't want to believe
So
that
does
because it's
Antonio
Spurs.
Conte. I think when Antonio Conte was in the league, he beat Pep twice. I think it was 16, 17. So Conte has Pep's numbers. So
And look, despite Man City having the possession almost the entire game, all it comes down to it are those moments in front of goal. Spurs took advantage of every single one because they have an elite striker in Harry Kane. Is this and we'll dive more into the game, but just a kind of quick question out the rip. Do you think that's kind of like the issue that Man City continue to have, is not having that on-out striker up top to just kind of help them get the game by the ruff of the neck and just get the ball behind the net? I mean, they got 2 in this game, but the amount of opportunities compared to Spurs is just like you would imagine Man City would have more clear-cut opportunities, which they really didn't have. Spurs were who we've multiple times came out here and criticized for being kind of bad in defense, held their own against Man City. I don't know. This doesn't make sense to me. They're a team that Man City are a team that are very well positioned. Like everybody on that team is IQ is above. It's crazy. And Spurs, who have been in such a questionable defensive form lately, just managed to get it right for this game. I don't know, man. Do you think it's what is it? I'll go to you first, I guess.
for City,
Yeah, for City. Why is it they can't get it right against Spurs? And again, I'll show you the heat map. The whole entire Man City team was in the opposition half. The entire Spurs team for the majority of the game was in their side of the half.
I think it's I think for Man City Spurs, I think it's like a psychological effect. Just like last year with Pep and Tuchel. Tuchel beat Pep twice. Not twice. It was the league and then the FA Cup semifinal, and then the final, right? So I think teams just have psychological effects over managers, players, and teams. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. God damn it. Hold
So, what
on.
you
Brain
think that?
fart.
Do you think that psychological effect made Pep overthink his tactics?
It, it
It's
it's
classic Conte football though.
it,
Like
it,
just sit back and
it's a
counter.
tricky one though, just because you showed the the average position of City's players, right? And you just said they're over the halfway line.
As expected.
So is it like Pep kind of like underestimated Conte? Which I mean,
Mm.
maybe because they really lost 3 games on the bounce, and we've all seen what Antonio Conte came out in the interviews saying about his players. So it's almost like Pep maybe just saying, all right, these guys are in shambles right now. Let's
Thinking back at the game, the opportunities that they got were for the majority all breakaways.
Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you think about the positional play for Man City, which was the majority in the opposition half, one through ball, one ball over the top, and you're out. Tactical genius from Conte?
it would have to be. I also think Pep didn't set up his back line right, and they tried to play the offside, like it was a
Multiple times,
right.
yeah.
There was Laporte and Ruben Diaz, and they just weren't able to like synchronize correctly. It was the first goal. Kane gets the ball and just shoots it up to Heung-min Son. Was it Ruben Diaz tried to play him offside, but he's like 3 or 4 yards behind the next defender up front. It was I just think Pep got it wrong, but credit to Antonio Conte just because it was just kind of just route one football. Like I said it on the stream, just lob it up to Kane, drill it to Kane, and he just finds the outlet, whether it was Kulusevski or Heung-min Son, which he does well with Heung-min Son.
Shout out to I mean, I don't want to shout him out, but again, credit where it's due. Kulusevski, bro. This guy,
Goal and assist.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's looking very, very good for Spurs right now. But this loss for Man City just, I think, blew the race wide open. At least for between Liverpool and Man City. Talking to Edgar earlier today, he still doesn't feel like it's gonna favor them just because it requires a lot for Man City to drop the amount of points, and it would also require Liverpool to go on a perfect run from here on out. But Nick, how do you feel this loss motivates your guys? Maybe hurts their morale. Do you think anything can change from the outcome at the end of the season?
I think from a Man City perspective, I think they're already used to being a title race at Liverpool, and they got away with it. Not away with it. They handled it so well just because in 18-19 Liverpool were ahead by like 7 points by Christmas, and they blew that 7 point lead. And then once City kind of took the lead, I think it was against Everton away when Liverpool drew 0-0. Um, they never dropped points. I think they went like on a 14-game winning streak. So like I said, City already know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
On Liverpool's point of view, though, I think Liverpool, like as a club and as a city, have always kind of just been like backs to the wall, just really like get at it and go after it against all odds. But against, I would say like as the players' point of view, their confidence must be sky high right now, just because they're challenging on all fronts for all 4 trophies, and then for the Premier League. I mean, Liverpool's fans haven't been able to celebrate the Premier League in 2020, so I guess the players really want to avenge that title. But as like from a it's I don't know. I like from my point of view, it's just it's still a tricky one.
It
Liverpool
requires a lot from Man City and you guys too.
exactly just because when I look at City, I can see them going on like I just said, 14-game winning streaks, 10-game winning streaks, just being so consistent, and like they did here, drop 3 points, which every team does, right? Liverpool, I've never like except in 18-19 prior to I guess the turn of the new year, 2019. They kept on winning, but not to consistency as City has done for the last 5 years. I don't see Liverpool stringing a 10-game winning streak like I just said as City. So and Liverpool also have, at least in my opinion, the toughest of fixtures. They still have Arsenal away, um, Tottenham at home, and obviously the game at the Etihad. So I mean, it's only if they win against Leeds, it's only 3 points. Etihad, if they win, it takes it to draw. So I mean, it's still all to play for. There's HAY LIGA.
HAY LIGA mucha. Here's the league, guys. So I had to translate for everybody out there. But now we talked about the Premier League title, right? Let's bring it down a notch. Let's talk about top four real quick, and I mean down to Spurs end because us here, Arsenal, United, we are in a tough little pickle here. Do you think that this win is what Conte and his players need to start building on something? Or are you still expecting to see the very inconsistent, questionable Spurs in the I guess for the remainder of the season? What are your original thoughts?
I still think they were gonna see the questionable Spurs for the rest of the season. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, they got the result against Man City, which apparently they tend to do quite often.
Yeah, for real. Spurs are crazy.
But at the end of the day, they still got the same group of players that we keep talking about week in and week out that they're just not good enough for that side. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it did help that they finally got Eric Dyer back, which was a huge help for them. So we'll see. I mean, yeah, they'll use this as momentum, of course.
Yeah.
But at the end of the season, I think it'll still be the same old Spurs.
Mark, are you feeling confident that that our top 4 races are I guess better odds than Spurs, or are you a little bit nervous now after seeing this result?
No, I'm actually checking out what the upcoming matches for Spurs right now, and I
I
see
think they have an easy lineup coming up, no?
Burnley leads.
They still have 3 games in hand too.
Yeah, Burnley leads, and then they have the FA Cup with Middlesbrough. They have Everton, Man United still, West Ham, Aston Villa, Liverpool. So I mean,
I think everything coming up until the United game is should be winnable for them. Not saying that they are guaranteed 3 points, but they're games that typically speaking you would expect Spurs to win.
Yeah. I'd say tie for Leeds. Tied for Leeds, maybe a tie with Everton. That's what I'm hoping for.
I was a tie with Leeds, but after seeing this fucking weekend, I don't know.
I
mean, Everton after seeing this weekend, I don't know either.
I mean, on paper, they could be very winnable. I mean, they got Burnley up next, which Burnley just decided to pump out goals for fun this past weekend. Everton have maybe gotten a spark under them. Brighton just are no one to sleep on. So we'll see. I mean, they still on paper they could win them, but in all reality, I mean, they're still very tough games. So we'll see what happens.
All right. So well, I mean, look, there's a lot more to go. 15 more game weeks officially, right? For us, for most teams, depending on what you have in hand. But for us, these are all cup finals. I think for you guys, you guys have Champions League, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, so now let's talk about. Man, you just mentioned them Leeds, bro. They Leeds lost in Leeds fashion. You know, it was
a goal
crazy
fest.
1 minute, and then it just went downhill for them again. But Gat, talk to me.
It was
initial reaction.
It was a very entertaining game. I think if you're a neutral, you were very excited watching this game.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you guys see the pitch?
Oh, dude,
the weather conditions were so bad. It was just players slipping. The ball like couldn't travel like it's supposed to. Like it would random
a Sunday League football pitch.
It was ridiculous.
I like how you can kick it and then the ball you can see it get stuck.
Yeah, you could see it slow down, and that caught a lot of players on both ends. Just a lot often. It was a very physical game though, very physical. I don't know if you guys saw the picture yet, but McTominay actually posted after the game when he took his shin guards off and he rolled up his socks. He had all these marks from being kicked in the leg all game.
He had like 5 people in the face. That's all he's crying about.
But it was a very physical game. It was very fun to watch. The first half was not great on either end. The first half did not look like a team fighting for top 4 against a team fighting to stay out of relegation. They looked very similar, like as if they both should have been the bottom of the table, to be quite honest with you. But we got the goals. I think we just were caught off guard by the second half. I mean, you kind of know going into it at Ellen Road, Leeds are going to bring it at one point or another. So we got caught off guard. Rodrigo's goal ended up being a pretty nice goal, but it was supposed to be a cross all the way, and that caught De Gea off guard. But nevertheless, it went in. That gave them the momentum they needed. Rafinha, of course, doing Rafinha things, coming off the bench and getting that goal. But I think the overall response is what I take away the most. They didn't back down. You know, they saw those 2 goals come in, and they said, all right, you know what, we can't let this happen, and they turned it around. It was great sub management on Ralph's end. He brought in the people we needed at the right times. So overall, it was a great response. It ended up being a really fun game to watch.
That's exactly what you touched on. Is something that kind of really stood out to me, is that you guys never really took the foot off the gas. It was always kind of go for I'd say probably one of the first times I've seen under Ragnick. I think this is the ripple effects that we're seeing from the past win. You know, the confidence building. Maybe again, the performances won't be there 100%, but as long as the results are there for you guys, that's all that really matters. And you saw that. You know, it comes down to Bruno had an individual moment of brilliance at the end, and just to come in to put the final nail in the coffin. 2 goals for him, right?
For
For
Bruno?
the header, and then the he had the
No,
assist
it was
on
just the
other
one. Yeah, it was
that's
just the
right.
one. And then
So
Sancho finally showing us what he's capable of. Just goes to show that all he needed from the very beginning was just minutes. He's been man of the match the past couple matches for us. So he's really he's doing great things. I love that Alanga got a goal.
mhm.
Unfortunately, Leeds fans
Oh.
throwing something at him.
Yeah, I mean,
But he
see
got
it
his
everywhere
payback.
now.
He got his payback in a great way. So
He did. Yeah, man. The only thing for you guys that you have to figure out is your defensive issues, but I think that's pretty much well known already.
and we finally scored from a corner.
Oh yeah, that's actually in the beginning.
We
100.
finally 140. It took us 140 corners to finally get one in.
That's pretty worrying. No, and I
Considering
say that
considering who
because-
we have that tends to line up for our corners, absolutely.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's not only that, because a corner kick is another tool in your belt that you could use to get more goals, to get those 3 points. And if they're not coming, if they're coming as far as 140 corners each time, that's pretty crazy. But we'll see what Ragnar brings in this summer, because there's rumors of him not sticking around. Probably just going to take the advisory role. We'll see. 3 points for you guys. Momentum continues to build. That's what you guys need, not what we need. But good 3 points for you.
Another goal for Fred. He has more league goals than Messi does.
So that was actually I made a little side conversation here for you guys, because I want to see how much you're buying into this energy right now. 3 goals for Fred and 2 goals for Messi, right? Is Messi finished?
No, he's not.
I'm hearing 3 goals Fred, 2 goals Messi.
But that doesn't mean Messi's finished. He's just
Well, I
not
mean,
on it.
How long do we give him until we say that? Okay, yeah, maybe he's not the same player anymore.
End of season.
End of the season, yeah, for sure.
Listen, mark my words. When he scores a goal at the Bernabeu, well, I'll watch. Well, I'll see.
Okay,
We'll see.
Gat.
I mean, I agree. I give him to the end of the season.
Okay.
No, give him another season, man. This is the first time we've ever played in a different team.
Oh
completely.
man, I wanted all that energy on Fred 3, Messi 2, and I was like, oh no, give him a season. I'm not betting on
Bro,
this, yo.
The fact
Not
that
you,
I'm
because
okay.
not exactly not you, not so much you, because you're just saying it, but I don't know. This is the energy over here. I wish Diego was here to start trolling.
He-
or
oh,
something.
I'm
bro,
not
if
gonna
Diego
say-
was here,
you can't
bro.
say you can't say Messi's finished just because Fred has got
But the
one
fact that you
extra
give him
goal.
the end of the season is bullshit.
I want
Because at the end of the day, it's still Messi.
That-
You have to
exactly.
recognize.
Why are you giving him to the end of the season? Give him 2 seasons. It's the first time he's ever been playing in a different country and team completely. Like, why am I the one defending him?
I love your passion.
This is fucking stupid. Bro.
Look, I saw the group chat. I wanted that same energy on here, but I guess it was just a troll. Maybe nothing.
It is a
really
troll.
back it up, so.
No.
Which is hilarious troll though, by the way.
You know, it is a crazy
Phenomenal
troll.
troll. More people
That's a
Fred
great-
How
has
many
to-
goals does Ronaldo have?
A lot
More
more
than
than
3.
a lot more than Messi does.
More than 3.
I'm pretty curious. I think
I think he has like 5,
Something like that.
maybe 6.
league?
I forget off the
I
top
think
of my
I'll
head.
take-
yeah, take a look right now because I'm curious. Because I'm about to bring a stat right now. Actually,
The Allison stat.
what size is that?
I think he has more assists than Ronaldo, but assists are like not a good stat
Yeah,
based off of.
Allison got an assist.
9
Yes,
goals.
you know you don't
saying.
credit
9 goals.
Yeah, in Premier League.
Oh, okay.
9 goals, 22 matches, 3 assists.
Never mind. Well, I guess Emil Smith Rowe and Ronaldo tied on goals, so that's pretty interesting.
Smith Rowe has been better this season though.
Ooh,
Smith Rowe has been better than Ronaldo. Though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Most of his goals coming off the bench.
damn hot take.
No, it's just
I mean,
That's
it's
pretty accurate.
Smith Rowe's all the goals aren't penalties. Ronaldo has scored like 2 non-penalty goals in the last 3 months.
I'm really curious to see how fans will react to that remark right now. Although maybe I'd agree with you that is true at the current moment. But would United fans admit that?
No.
Is Emil Smith Rowe better than Ronaldo
Right now.
in this current?
right now, absolutely he is.
All right.
Well, they're different players. I think,
Yeah, they're also
I
different.
think
But I mean, if you looking just straight at output, of course, absolutely.
You know what's crazy? I saw Lacazette actually had the most assists for Arsenal this season, and we've been fucking like, well, we need
Getting
goals
shit.
from him. Yeah. But yeah, no. I digress. Let's continue moving forward. The last game I have here, which is the last game of the weekend, which is probably one of the most entertaining ones, I'd say, just because of the pure quality of the actual game, was I think Leicester away. Yeah, Leicester away at Wolves, and what else besides a classic Ruben Neves goal? Leicester sort of bottling it up again. You know, looking like they should have taken the 3 points but didn't. But overall, great game to watch, man. I'm kind of upset that I never noticed how good Ruben Neves actually is. Maybe his injury has he been injured like a lot?
I don't think so. No.
I think so. Yeah. Or unless he disappears
No,
every so
Maybe
often.
he had like one
I always
season.
see him starting for Wolves.
But I mean, look, Wolves are making this race to top 4 pretty interesting as well. They're throwing their name into the mix. How do you guys think this energy can stay up for them, or are we going to expect to see kind of those West Ham vibes where they're going to start diminishing a little by little?
I think it'll stay because Wolves don't have anything else other than the Prem right now, so
It's true.
they can just throw all their eggs in the one only basket that they have. So
That's very true.
they absolutely will keep this up, which will make a very interesting end of the season push
Yes.
for Europe. Not even top 4 yet, just Europe.
Europe in general.
I can't lie. I think I'd be surprised if they kept this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Just for teams who aren't like Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, United, maybe Leicester thrown into the mix. I think it's just very rare for them to just challenge for top 4. Just because again, I guess money has a big like part to do with this. Just because Wolves have a quality manager in Bruno Lage and a quality system and structure, but at one point there's just more quality players than other teams, and quality players like the manager doesn't. The manager helps them win games, but at the end of the day, at least in my opinion, players win the games for them. And if you have more quality players, you'll probably end up winning more games.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to see Wolves fucking go all the way to the season, but I don't know if they have. Yeah, I don't think it happened. Yeah.
You go with it, Marco?
Yeah. I actually agree.
I thought you were looking something up right now.
No. I was checking because you guys mentioned they don't have anything going on, and it's true they don't. They do have some complicated games coming up, but I think Wolves is one of those sleepers that you just expect them to be mid table, but sometimes they show up and then they give that extra push, and I can see him taking a spot for European or that third league that I can't remember what it's called.
The Conference League, yeah.
That one.
European Conference League. All right, but yeah, that's the top 4 race. Some other matches that we just quickly want to mention right here are Southampton beating Everton at home 2-0. Everton continue. Frank Lampard never seemed to get that new manager bounce that a lot of teams get. It continues to look bad for him. The only question I have for you guys, and you can keep it as simple as a yes or no, but if you want to dive into it, go ahead by all means. If Everton get demoted this year, because let's be honest, they're flirting with relegation and their form has been completely horrid, is Lampard sacked or is he a long-term placement?
Unfortunately, I just think he just should get sacked. Like Everton have too many quality players. Again, quality. Then again, Watford, Burnley, Norwich. Like if we get sacked with Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Yeti Mina, even though he doesn't play, Jordan Pickford, like he isn't probably the best goalie, but I mean, he's a decent goalie,
He's
right?
number 1 for England right now.
Somehow.
Decore, Allen. If you get relegated with those players, yeah, that's a crime against humanity.
I'm gonna have to agree, just based on the fact that he's right. The players they have, there's just no way they
All right,
can't get relegated.
let
with
me
those players.
change the question a little bit because I think the motion is probably just pushing the envelope too much.
Yep.
If he stays in the bottom of the league where he is right now, does he get sacked?
No,
No.
he wouldn't deserve to be sacked if he
Doesn't improve.
I don't know. Just Everton aren't. What are they going to improve on? They're not going to get European.
No,
places.
I'm not saying European Cup places, but like, I mean, at least mid-table right now. They're what 17, 16,
16 on 22 points.
tied with Newcastle.
Yeah.
Only 4 points ahead of Norwich or something.
Watford, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you should sack a manager off 4 months. But again,
No,
if
because
they
I
get
think
relegated,
Lampard coming in, I think his primary goal that was most likely given to him was just to stay up. So that's why I don't
That
think
is a crazy goal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that what you're saying is crazy, but I'm saying
for a
I
team
believe
like
you
yeah.
because Everton, a club the size of Everton, for your accolade to be stay in the first division, that to me is just that speaks the volume of how low they've dropped and with the quality of players they have. It just it just blew my mind that's how we think of them right now. But yeah, Everton to stay up, or are you questioning that?
They'll
I
stay
don't.
up. They'll
I don't
stay
question
up.
it.
Yeah, they'll stay
Pretty
up.
They'll stay up.
If they do go down, bro,
Be
Are
hilarious.
we fun to watch?
I think they're fucked for like the next 10 years. Like they're gonna lose Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, they're built from the ground up again.
Like, they're gonna lose literally every single
Yeah,
decent
and then
player
when Norwich goes back down, they dominate the championship. So they're never. So it's one less spot that Everton have to play for down there.
Speaking of new manager bounce is not coming to an end. Not coming to an end, but Steven Gerrard, I guess, hit a little speed bump, losing 1-0 to Watford. I believe at home, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? I didn't really watch the game, so I can't really give my opinion on that.
I think he has like 2 wins in the last 11 games, which is like really poor. But yeah, I didn't watch the game personally, but I always said they need a lot of new personnel. I guess Gerrard needs to improve as well. He isn't the most. He's not. I think we all knew he's not a great manager.
He's learning. He's new.
Yeah, he came in from Rangers. I mean, I think he's a decent sized, borderline good manager, but he's definitely not great. And like every other manager who comes into a mid-table team, they're not going to be like the creme de la creme. They're gonna have some flaws with them. So yeah, he
Learn
needs.
his
Yeah,
craft.
exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, that's all we got for the Premier League action. Just obviously other games happened, but we didn't really want to waste too much time talking about that. The only one thing that we have left to talk about, which is happening Wednesday. There are Champions League games tomorrow: Juventus, Villarreal, Chelsea, Lille, I believe, right? It's tomorrow.
Yeah, and then Wednesday is Benfica, Ajax, and we play Atletico.
So I think we should honestly kind of want to talk about that game real quick. United versus Atletico. Just kind of quickly, what you expect to see in that game. You guys are at home.
No, I'm pretty sure we travel.
Okay.
So we are going to Spain. So that already in itself is going to make it a very tough game.
How do you see this game going?
That's tough to say. I mean, Atletico. I mean, Marco, you can probably give me some insight, but have they bounced back in La Liga, or are they still up and down? Or
I mean, they are top 5. They're in 5th place right now. I think they've been okay. And then I feel like they've started to find their place again. Even though there were certain periods this past year that you would see like there's sort of flaws, right? But I think they're trying to find a flow and a good consistency within their game. So I would expect a tough game for you guys.
it's definitely going to be a tough game. I mean, I already saw there's rumors apparently that like Suarez and Griezmann are going to start on the bench or something. I don't know
Yeah.
where I saw that some floating around somewhere. I don't remember where. So I mean, if that's the case, I mean, regardless of who starts or who doesn't start for them, we just have to take our momentum and we just got to come out on the front foot
Dude,
from the beginning.
you have the one thing that's written in stone, and this will never change. Ronaldo always beats Simeone.
That's true.
So you guys can lose 5-0 this first leg. You'll win 6-0.
Yeah, he's done it. He's done it for Real
Madrid,
Madrid and
Juventus.
Juventus.
For a long time.
So will he be able to do it for Man United? We'll find out. I do think at Metropolitano, you guys will struggle, if not lose. You have to win it at home, and that's basically it.
So no way goals.
No way goals,
Rules.
which is weird.
I'm kind of I like that actually.
I do
But
too. But
Yeah,
final result.
it's gonna be a tough game. 1-1.
2-1 Atletico.
1-1.
I'm gonna go 2-2.
Worst game ever.
I don't know, man. I just
The worst-
see.
I mean, they do struggle with
It might
Go at
be.
home
that
is.
side, but
It might be.
don't
It might be
wish-
a snooze fest.
I don't
It
wish
might be.
Atletico are my worst enemy.
because you played them so many times.
180 minutes of pure terrorism you're going up against. And what I saw on Twitter, apparently they're gonna go 5 back. So
But I mean that's what Atletico are gonna want to do is hurt United's defense, and that's what realistically is their weak point. So
I think they also have better quality attacking options like
that's what I say. Suarez, Griezmann,
Suarez, Joao Felix, Griezmann,
one quick counterattack.
Angel
Yeah.
Correa, fucking Carrasco, Marcos Llorente,
They have good players.
Rodrigo De Paul. Like I think they have
I
a
forgot.
lot
I
of
forgot the Paul went there.
Mateus Cunha. Like they have so many options up top. The problem with them this season is like they just haven't been able to defend. And for Diego Simeone and Atletico, like we've always associated them with just solid at the back, keep a clean sheet. Like Diego Godin, Juan Fran, Courtois back in the day, just solid now. Just like that back line just has been leaky. I don't think they have. I'm looking at their last game against Osasuna, which they beat 3-0. It's It's a back five of Oblak, Renido. I haven't heard. I don't know him. I know Loy, the left back, Jimenez, Savage, and Versaco. That's nowhere near what they had years ago, which was just like defensively sound. Koke, I don't think he's the player that he was. I mean, he's a decent player, but not the player that he was in 2014, 2015, where Atletico were going to semifinals like 3 years in a row. But I just think, yeah, it'll be. I think it'll if a team wins, it'll be by 1 goal. It'll be
A
by one
KG
goal.
affair. KG Snooze Fest affair happening at the Metropolitano as United travel away. And then that is all I have for today. Anything? Any final thoughts?
No.
No? All right. So as always, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are the BenchWarmers, the bench with the voice, where the bench is always warm. Peace, everybody.